Hello and welcome back to Whiskey Wars. My name is Sean, and tonight we'll be reviewing Ezra Brooks Distillers Collection. Let's get into it. Alright folks, so here is our bottle for this evening, Ezra Brooks Distillers Collection. And this is a somewhat special version of that because it is a hand-selected by Total Wine bottle. By RYPJ number 2, whatever that means. So these are handpicked anyway by Lux Row, all of the Distillers Collection. And, so Ezra Brooks in general, I feel like they're trying to compete with Jack Daniels. They got that kind of similar vibe, the black label. It says charcoal mellowed on the front and sour mash, kind of just like Jack. Now, of course, the Kentucky process of charcoal mellowing is not like the Tennessee process. And I appreciate that because I'm not a fan of some of the earthy, kind of grassy, I don't know, muddy tones that you get from the Tennessee process. Now, that's not true of all Tennessee whiskeys, but I would say in general, that's kind of how I feel. And so I tend to like the charcoal mellowing that Kentucky does better. But all that said, let's get into this bottle. So now it says right on the front, hand-picked from extraordinary barrels. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see if this is, in fact, an extraordinary barrel. Now, this particular selection, it says a barrel was filled 5/4/2016. So I don't know when it was poured, so I don't know how old it is exactly, but there is no age statement on the back. So it has to be at least 4 years, we know that, but could be up to 5, possibly. Also, in case you're not familiar with Lux Row, something to pay attention to. We have to pay attention to the wording on our bottles. So it says distilled and aged in Kentucky, but then bottled for Lux Row Distillers, Bardstown, Kentucky. So Lux Row does not claim to be the distiller, and they also don't claim to be the people that are bottling it. But I do think that in general that Ezra Brooks puts out a pretty good product. So let's see about this one. All right, so really nice vanilla note right off the bat. A nice caramel. Very nice brown sugar note. Definitely getting a little like chocolate. I would say very much a dark chocolate in there. Getting kind of some sweet tobacco. And I would say maybe even kind of like the brown sugar that you get on top of a creme brulee, that kind of toasted brown sugar. That's very much what you're getting, as well as some other nice kind of barrel char notes. It's not done in a bad way. It actually works really nice with the other notes you're getting on the nose. In general, lots of darker notes, which I really enjoy. You're not getting the kind of the youthful sour oak notes, which I tend to not like very much. This feels like a much more mature whiskey, even though I know it's really can't be much more than 5 years old. It smells older than that. So I would say so far, good job Total Wine on your pick. Let's get into that taste. So before I get into the palate, I want to say real quickly, this is a little higher proof than some of the other ones we have reviewed recently. This is 107 proof, so it's not quite barrel proof, but approaching that. But I think, again, Total Wine has done a nice job picking the barrel here. This is a really very nice selection. Now this bottle was something like $32, and I think it competes really, really well in that price range. You're getting all the notes I described on the nose. You're getting those on the palate. So you're getting the dark chocolate. You're getting kind of that toasted brown sugar, nice char kind of barrel notes in there. Definitely getting a nice rich caramel. It's not like a faint kind of weak or cheap caramel taste. It's very nice and thick. It's very mouth coating, very viscous, and it feels very caramel-like. And I find that true of a lot of the bottles that were in the kind of $30 price range, that you're starting to get much more better mouthfeel once you get into this price range compared to the more cheap bottles. Let's go in for one more sip here. As you can see, I'm kind of anxious to get another sip in. So I would say this is many steps above your standard Ezra Brooks, especially at least this selection. And I would say if you're going to go after this, I would definitely try and get a good store pick from a reputable place. And this drink's like a much older whiskey, as I said earlier, and I appreciate that. I like the darker notes, kind of the darker fruits. So you're also getting kind of like some plum notes, maybe some kind of blueberry, but not like a sweet blueberry. It's more of a kind of roasted blueberry. Everything is very roasty and toasty. So imagine kind of darker fruits like plums and dates and blueberries, all maybe like roasted over a fire or something like that. So you're getting lots of fruity notes in there, but they're kind of complex and mixed with the char and the kind of the toasted brown sugar and the rich caramel. The finish is very pleasant, although it's somewhat simple. I would say the notes you're getting on the finish is just that nice rich caramel, some of that little kind of toasted brown sugar. There's almost like a toasted marshmallow on the finish as well. And then lots of kind of the char notes from the barrel, but that's not overwhelming. It works really well with the other flavors on the finish. And I would say it's somewhat, I wouldn't say long, but kind of a medium-ish finish. Not quite as long as some of the other ones we've reviewed recently, but definitely a very nice finish. So folks, if you're a fan of Ezra Brooks, I think this is many steps above it, as I said before. I think it does everything that Ezra Brooks does well, plus much more. And it should, because it's about twice the price of a standard Ezra Brooks, and this is worth the money. So if you see this, especially a store pick like this, definitely pick it up. And folks, if you're enjoying the channel, then I just want to say that we do have a Patreon, and there's many different benefits in our Patreon. So you can, if you get up to the higher tiers, you can get samples from me of any bottle you see around me. You can also pick videos in some of our tiers, and also just kind of generally chat with me, chat with the community. There's lots of benefits, so please check it out, especially if you want to support the channel. I would very much appreciate that. Now, as far as the rating goes on this, I think it is really excellent. I'm very happy with this pick. Now, I know that my experience may vary from yours because it is a store pick, but with that said, I still have to rate what I have. I think it's better than a couple of those we've rated recently, so I'm going to go 8.1, just slightly better than a couple others we've reviewed recently, and that's my take on it. And also, folks, if you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And as always, folks, if you want to see more reviews, you can click here. And if you really are enjoying the channel, you can subscribe right here. And until next time, folks, just remember, you can never have too much good whiskey.